I used to think the best traders were just really good at picking trades. But after trading 0DT for over 5 years and now running a 0DT hedge fund, I've learned that your real edge doesn't come from picking the better trades. It comes from picking more of them with purpose. And in this video, I'll walk you through how frequency and feedback accelerate your edge faster than any win rate ever could. For those of you that are new here, my name is Mark Anderson. I'm a construction worker turned 0DT hedge fund manager. I've traded 0DT options for over 1,000 consecutive trading days, and I've sold more than $50 million in 0DT premium. Today, we're going to dive deep into why frequency and time frame might be the most overlooked edge in your trading. You'll learn why thinking in trades is a trap and systems are the way forward, how faster feedback can lead to better adaptation, and why fewer trades isn't always the safer path. Let's get on the same page with a few terms. Frequency, how often you can place a statistically similar trade. Time frame, how quickly you know whether that trade worked. These two factors determine how many reps you get and how fast your edge can play out. Let's say you have a setup with a 60% win rate. If you only place it once a month, it could take years to realize your real edge. But if you place that same setup 10 times a week, you compress time. You get the same edge faster. More reps is more data and faster refinement. But here's the catch. More frequency doesn't mean more profit unless your edge is real. Think of it like poker. If you're good, playing 100 hands a night helps you get to your expected return. If you're bad, playing more just means you lose faster. Casinos literally operate on frequency. They know their precise edge based on how often their gamblers gamble. You can find edge in your portfolio by operating like casinos, not like losing poker players. But it's not just how often you place a trade, it's also how long those trades stay exposed. That's where time frame comes in. And it plays a huge role in how you manage your risk and learn from your results. Everyone who invests is sinking to compound their returns or compound their wealth. But here's where I want you to understand how the time frame of your trades gives you compound knowledge. This is how you improve your ability to learn day by day. Your time frame dictates your ability to iterate and how long you're exposed to risk. As an example, real estate has performed really well since 2008. No one really knows how well it will perform over the next 20 years. And if you're stuck in the real estate hole, it's purely a wait and see game. No one can say for certain if the people who bought real estate in the last 2 or 3 years made a good investment or not because it takes so long to play out. Shorter time frames like 0DT allow you to tighten your stop logic for when you want to exit a position, react faster to new data, reduce exposure to overnight events, but shorter time frames also mean this: less room for a trade to play out, tighter margin for error. Here's how I like to think of it. Short time frame is faster feedback loop, which leads to faster learning. Personally, I prefer investments that give me clearer, more frequent data on a shorter time frame. Trade, outcome, adjust, new trade, iterate. That's the formula. And when you combine that fast learning cycle with the right frequency and strategy fit, you don't just build a trading system. You build a system that can evolve. That's the real edge. When frequency, feedback, and they all fit together perfectly, that is where everything comes together. Edge isn't just about win rate or risk to reward ratio. It's about how fast and how often you can refine what you're doing. Edge is the quality of your setup, meaning your sizing and your hedge times your frequency times the feedback speed. I have videos on all of these, and here's what I want you to understand that most traders miss. If you're not getting enough reps, you're not actually testing your edge. If your feedback loop is too slow, you can't adapt and compound your knowledge. If your strategy doesn't fit your capital or emotional bandwidth, you'll abandon it before you even get enough reps. Now here's the real power move. Frequency amplifies everything else. In other videos, I go over the core 4 and how I use each of these to assess the value of a trade. Frequency is the glue that strengthens the other three of the core four. By having more frequency, I have a more accurate price. With more frequency, I know what my max risk is. With more frequency, it gives me the confidence in my risk premium that it's real. So start here. Start with frequency. Now, of course, there are a few misconceptions about frequency that can completely erode your portfolio. If you might see Mr. Backtester, who programs his trades, automates it, and goes on his merry way. But behind that trade was a year's worth of learning that was compounded to get that trade in the right spot. Frequency doesn't mean strategy hopping. There's deployment of a forward-tested strategy for 6, 9, and 12 months to understand if your backtest and input is good. I will test and forward-test a strategy that loses money every day for a year so I can get the data, because then I know it's real. The way I can learn the inputs that allow me to make accurate assumptions, to be clear across all of my portfolio. I have a test account that makes up a tiny fraction. I'm talking like barely even a basis point of risk over those trades, dedicated just to exploration and data. In order for something to go in my main account, it has to go through the live forward testing for at least 3 months to get that data first to prove my assumptions. You need to separate church and state for how you optimize this. We don't just jump from strategy development to strategy deployment. We go from strategy development to strategy testing to strategy deployment. Most traders overfocus on win rate, but edge comes from volume and evolution. And the thing that ties those two together is frequency. So ask yourself, am I getting enough reps to validate my strategy? Am I adapting based on fast, useful feedback? Am I building a system that fits me? You can do everything right and still not see results. If you're not doing it enough, fast enough, that's where frequency becomes your edge. If you found this video helpful, go watch my video on the Core 4. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've changed or want to change in how often you trade or how you track your results? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I might turn one of your questions into a future video. And if you want to keep building smarter systems, hit that subscribe button. I've got new videos every week to help you trade with more clarity and more edge. I'll see you guys on the next one.